anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer.
We've seen all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow, bring a better day.
Only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
You have to really recognize I'm doing something this country has never really been done before. It's a question of inculcation, reorientation, and education. Never before in this country, ever since the inception of the Republic, have you had a woman seriously running for the presidency. I'm not talking about someone nominating someone at the convention as a mere gesture of symbolism and tokenism. I'm talking about someone that has been going out in the highways and byways for the past 7.5 months.
I can hear you! I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people...
With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. When we let it rain from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Behind us, we can look back and see the great expanse of American achievement. And before us, we can see even greater, grander frontiers of possibility. We should, all of us, be filled with gratitude and humility for our present progress and prosperity. We should be filled with awe and joy at what lies over the horizon. And we should be filled with absolute determination to make the most of it.
Let us remember that a fight means no person left behind. So when people want to stop talking about the issues that black women face, when people want to stop talking about the issues that trans women or immigrant women face, we got to ask them, why does that make you so uncomfortable? This is the time when we're going to address poverty. This is the time we're going to address Flint. This is the time we're going to talk about Baltimore and the Bronx and wildfires and Puerto Rico. Because this is not just about identity, this is about justice, and this is about the America that we are going to bring into this world. Thank you all very, very much.
My dear friends, your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union. Too many people struggled, suffered, and died to make it possible for every American to exercise their right to vote.
You want to wipe out all the bans and state-imposed prohibitions on abortion?
Yes, the position of the caucus is one against government intervention in the reproductive freedom of the individual citizen. That affects men as well as women. It means birth control as well as abortion. It also means the enforced sterilization laws, which exist in many states in this country. It's clear from the opinions in other industrialized countries and also from the opinions here that is not the wish of the average citizen, male and female, is not to have government intervention in that most private area of personal freedom.
Your indifference costs these men and women their most valuable commodity, time.
This should be flipped. This hearing should be flipped. They responded in 5 seconds. They did their jobs. Courage, grace, tenacity, humility. 18 years later, do yours.
It is our fundamental belief in the power of hope that has allowed us to rise above the voices of doubt and division, of anger and fear that we have faced in our own lives and in the life of this country. Our hope that if we work hard enough and believe in ourselves, then we can be whatever we dream, regardless of the limitations that others may place on us. The hope that when people see us for who we truly are, maybe, just maybe, they too will be inspired to rise to their best possible selves.
And they brought us whole binders full of women.
Goat's milk latte drinking!
There you go again.
If the senator were not too much of a coward to debate in public, then that's what I'd ask him.
Please clap.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad-built, butch body.
A what now?
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House!
Issues with Russia as Putin rears his head and comes into the airspace of the United States of America.
Where my banana stickers?
That's a banana republic without the banana.
Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see.
When they go low, we kick.
I believe these words came from the Pokemon movie.
Who am I? Why am I here?
Are you a racist?
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong.
Turn it off. This is my city. When I say off, I mean off.
He's a jackass.
How we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Everyone that knows me, they know one thing. I hate rats.
I do not like broccoli.
I don't snort cocaine. Like, it's not my thing.
Well, I'm not a crook.
I grew up castrating hogs.
4 glorious years, I guess.
Well, Neil, you told me. All right, let's not do it. I don't want to get milled. I just want to say hi, Bert. Yeah, good.
We're not going to vote to confirm a ham sandwich.
Ooh, don't do it.
I like beer. Still like beer.
20-foot impressive seahorse. He's ready.
It may be funny to you, motherfucker, but it's not funny to me, okay?
The reason that she knows why we're going to win.
Rent. It's too damn hot.
What do you say, icon again?
Icon.
You can't. Girlfriend, you were so on.
People always say I have the ability to turn people on.
Sashay down there and vote for this amendment are officially weird.
I love good news. Love good news. I just love good news.
Did I do that right? We are trying a fancier live stream. So, hello. I did a countdown video for my live stream. Did you all like that? Here I am. So thank you all for joining. This is my first time doing a live stream not connected to any sort of news event. So we're giving it a go. Glad you liked the video. I totally messed it up. I had something pre-planned. Like I had like a preset thing, and then I tried doing something in my software and it messed it up. So, you know, we are learning as we're growing. So, glad you liked the countdown video. And thank you all for being here. There's 100 of you here. That's awesome. You know, this is meant to just be like a hello, want to talk about, you know, just want to talk about the DNC, what we've, you know, like, you know, just talking about whatever you want to talk about. Also, I kind of want to watch some of the speeches I had. So like I was there at the DNC, as you know, and I did not get to watch all the speeches because it's so funny to be like near history, to be so close to history, but then to completely miss it because you're so close. The food at the DNC was awful. Oh, motherhood for good. Everyone say hi to Kate in the chat. Hey, Kate. Kate was at the DNC. Hello, Kate. Kate, my friend, I gave your shirt to, and he very much liked it. So he was actually wearing it today. So thanks for joining. Okay, so the food at the DNC was literally hot dogs, pretzels, and Pepsi. That's what they gave us. That's what they gave us for free. And people had conniptions. The reporters had conniptions that we were being fed pretzels, hot dogs, and Pepsi. And keep in mind, a lot of us had to be there for like most of us paid our way to be there. I don't know about you, Kate, but I paid my way to be there, and I paid a lot of money. So the least they could do is just give us hot dogs, Pepsi, and pretzels, and nachos. There are nachos too. So thanks all for being here. Keith, why did TMZ say Beyonce was going to perform? LOL. Did you hear those rumors also? Yes. So, yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, the Ubers alone, Kate. So, so Beyonce, okay, this rumor started and festered, I want to say on Monday or Tuesday of the DNC, and, Kamala was supposed to be on Thursday. And so there was like this low hum of like, is Beyonce going to show up? Is Beyonce going to show up? I don't know where that came from. But then on Thursday, there was like this talk about there being space for a special guest and knowing who that was. And then TMZ eventually came out with the report saying that Beyonce was due to perform, and Beyonce's flight was in Chicago. So, or her plane was in Chicago. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't know. TMZ is usually pretty good about this stuff. I mean, funny because it's TMZ, but they actually are pretty accurate most of the time. So I don't know what happened, but TMZ dropped the ball, and I think it's a shame because I can't speak for everyone, but at least for me, I think it was kind of over. I think Kamala's speech was a little overshadowed with the anticipation. I mean, this is why I never thought Beyonce should have showed up anyway, because it was like, why do you want like one of the most famous people in the world upstaging the biggest night of your life, which I think that's what it would have been. But in some ways, she already did upstage the biggest night of her life just from the rumor being there. I really think the people at the DNC, whoever was doing comms, should have squashed that rumor the second it happened. But my thought is the fact that they didn't squash it makes me think that there was some sort of like truth to it, that Beyonce maybe was supposed to be there at one point, and something happened. Oprah was a special guest. Yes. Seeing Oprah, I mean, I was so far away, still closer than most people, but I was so far away and it was still very cool to see her. So let me just give you some I'm going to give you some background on am I in focus? I think I'm in focus now. Am I in focus? Focus on me? Okay, I think I'm in focus. So some background on the DNC. So the first, I don't know if some of you were on when I was there on Monday. I went live on Monday night and I was so upset and tired. And I really feel like they just did not know how to handle the creators that were there. And Monday was just very chaotic and I felt really disappointed about everything. And I'm sorry if you were there on that live stream because I was just not in good spirits. But the security to get in was truly nuts. It was just nuts every day. I think towards the end of it, we understood the logistics, but I probably spent $400 in Ubers just going there and back and picking up a credential at a different hotel that I wasn't in, just to be able to make it into the arena. And most people, I mean, I don't know about everyone, but most people, I would get into the Civic Center at 11, 12, 1 and just stay there because I just wanted to get in there and be there because it took so long. The first day, it literally took me 4 hours to get there because I took a shuttle and the shuttle took 2 or 3 hours and the protesters, the buses weren't moving. And I eventually got out of the bus and they were like, we don't recommend you get out of the bus. And I was like, well, I'm getting out of the bus. And it was a 10-minute walk. And I could have gotten to the arena 2 hours earlier if I would have just walked. So, the logistics of it were really complicated. And I will say that every interview I got was because I worked for the interview. I tried to make it happen. That Pete interview did not happen out of thin air. And I really did work really hard to get that space. I'll show you this. I actually haven't watched the Pete Buttigieg interview back because it was taped to live and I'm scared that I did badly. So I don't want to watch it. Oh, why does that look like that? Hold on. Why isn't that showing my screen? Huh. Hold on. I think I have to delete this and put in a new one. Yeah, I want to remove that. Let's put in a new studio display. macOS Studio Display. That's so weird. Okay. Sorry, everyone. This looks terrible. Okay. There we go. And then I want me to be under it. Okay. And I want this to be under the thing. Okay. Sorry, everyone. Happening real time. I don't know why that happened. Actually, cancel. Live streaming is so hard. It's not easy. Just so you know, this is not easy. This is very hard. I'm happy to do it because I love you all. But this is not the easiest thing to do. Look at this. Look at all this work I have to do. Just to show you something. I mean, I don't know why that wasn't showing up before, but now it's showing up, so whatever. Okay, fixed. So this space here. All right, now I haven't watched this. Oof, my voice. I haven't watched this yet, but this space was incredibly hard for me to get access to. And I worked, I mean, that's the thing is like the DNC folks did not, God bless them, they did not like, you had to work and hustle to get anything to happen. And so I wonder if there's a way to like keep this always on top. View, always on top. Cool. Okay. Nope, doesn't work. Okay. This is why I'm scared to do my own stream. Yeah, it's not easy. And you're like, I feel like I'm like keeping balls up in the air, but it's okay. Yeah, but I did get the space. You're right. But it was not easy. Also, like, I don't know. Oh, you can see it's happening. So I haven't watched this back. But while, is there a way to like pop out this chat? I'm sorry, guys. This is like my first live stream where it's like, I'm just going to do this. Okay. So like when this was happening, you can see that they were doing the roll call and where is it? Where is Atlanta? And so like, I'm like trying so hard to hear him. I could not like, I like could barely hear him. You can hear him, but he was sitting right next to me and there was a literal concert happening behind me. Where's Georgia? So Georgia happens. This is it. This is where Lil Jon
Vice President.
Imagine that. They
Can
were
you guys hear
freaking
that?
out that Kamala Harris said, "I love you" to Joe Biden yesterday night.
Can you all hear that? Because now like I'm afraid the settings got messed up. Yeah? Okay, you can hear it. Okay, good. So I'm like doing this interview and it's like, and I hear out of nowhere when I'm doing this interview, I was a surprise for everyone. So I heard, yeah, from Lil Jon. And I was like, and I don't suffer from ADD, but I have ADD. And I was like, what the hell is, I was like, was that Lil Jon? But keep in mind, I'm also like interviewing the most important person I've ever interviewed in my entire life. And I'm trying to just focus on him. But meanwhile, in the back of my head, I'm like, what is going on? I haven't watched this yet. So
Never heard of more people from within a president's administration stepping forward to denounce that administration later on.
Yes.
And not just like some intern. I'm talking about his chief of staff, John Kelly, talking about why he is unfit to be a commander-in-chief. National security officials,
Yes.
cabinet members who either aren't on speaking terms with him.
When I heard that, I was like, what is happening? I love that you couldn't hear it in the interview.
Stepping forward to denounce that administration later on.
Yes.
And not just like some intern. I'm talking about his chief of staff, John Kelly, talking about why he is unfit to be a commander-in-chief. National security officials, cabinet members who either aren't on speaking terms with him or have actually come out to oppose him.
Look at me,
It's
not even like flinching. Oh man, that was rough. So that was total pro. I know. I mean, I was really trying there. So I wonder if there's a way eventually to get the chat. There's probably a way to do an overlay over me, but I'm not sure how to do it yet. So that was like really funny and hard. But I also was like, when it was happening, I was like, was that Lil Jon? I was like, is Lil Jon hosting the roll call? I was so confused. Little did I know I was missing like the most epic roll call in DNC history. Have you guys watched that roll call? I don't know, but I watched it back, and I'm not even kidding you. I watched it back 15 times. Because it's like such a clear. First off, it's just brilliant. Whoever decided to do that, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It made me so proud to be an American. It made me feel really proud to be an American, which is weird. Maybe not. But I just loved, also at the convention, there was all this patriotism, like the signs saying USA, USA. And I don't know about previous Democratic National Conventions. I'm sure there are older people in the chat who might know, but I feel like patriotism is a thing that is not common, was not like a common thing Democrats kind of championed, you know? But there was just this undercurrent and this thematic feeling of patriotism throughout the convention that I found to be really refreshing. And I was shouting, USA, USA, USA. Like I was shouting that from the audience. So I thought it was really energizing, really fun. On Tuesday and Wednesday, I hate to report to you, but like on Monday too. On Monday night, I like didn't even make it to Biden's speech. I was like on a bus on the way back home. I was so tired. Same thing with Tuesday and Wednesday night. I was like, just get me out of here before these speeches finish. So I didn't even see Biden's speech live because I was just so tired, which I hope that doesn't upset anyone, but I just needed to like go to bed. I was just so sleepy. So have you all seen AOC's speech? Have you watched it? Because I haven't watched it. I was thinking maybe we could watch it together. Yes. Yes. Was it good? Can we watch it again? Would you be mad? You only saw highlights, Scott? She's one person. We follow each other on Twitter, and I should have DM'd her. I should have DM'd her and been like, do you want to do an interview? I should have done that. That is the thing I learned the most, is that I should not have went into it trying to think, I'll just get stuff in the moment. Because every person I interviewed, Mikey Sherrill and Pete, I had been talking to their teams ahead of time. So that was the learning experience for me, is like, if I'm going into a big event like that, it can't be this expectation I'm going to wing it. So like next time I'm going to have like stuff lined up. And I should have DM'd her. And been like, hey, I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. Let's hang out. Let's like do a 5-minute thing, you know? So anyway, it's a huge learning experience the whole way around. But let's watch her speech. Let me see the full speech. Oh, it's not that long. Okay.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for your vision. Thank you.
So while this was happening, I was in the creators lounge, just looking at it at TV. That's what I was doing.
Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision. And thank you, Joe Biden, for your leadership.
Okay, I like that she did that.
You know, 6 years ago, I was taking omelet orders as a waitress in New York City. I didn't have health insurance. My family was fighting off foreclosure, and we were struggling with bills after my dad passed away.
We'll watch Jasmine next. That's a good point.
Unexpectedly
I didn't watch hers either.
from cancer. Like millions of Americans, we were just looking for an honest shake. And we were tired of a cynical politics that seemed blind to the realities of working people. It was then, only through the miracles of democracy and community, that the good people of the Bronx and Queens chose someone like me to elect them in Congress. And America, in my heart, I know from that same cloth of hope and aspiration, we will also elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as President and Vice President of the United States of America. I am here tonight because America has before us a rare and precious opportunity. In Kamala Harris, we have a chance to elect a
She is kind of crushing. This sounds a little soft.
president who is for the middle class because she is from the middle class. She understands the urgency of rent checks and groceries and prescriptions. She is as committed to our reproductive and civil rights as she is to taking on corporate greed. And she is working tirelessly to secure a ceasefire in Gaza and bringing hostages home. In Kamala Harris, I see a leader who understands. I see a leader with a real commitment to a better future for working families. And Chicago, we have to help her win. Because we know that Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends. And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life.
Okay. It's pretty good.
The truth is, Don, you cannot love this country if you only fight for the wealthy and big business. To love this country is to fight for its people, all people, working people, everyday Americans like bartenders and factory workers and fast food cashiers who punch a clock and are on their feet all day in some of the toughest jobs out there.
Wow.
You know, ever since I got elected, Republicans...
Stephanie says she's going to listen to this when she gets pumped up, and I agree. I think we're so lucky she's on our side. You know, I just think it's like such a great example that the Democratic Party is a big tent party, and I think we say that a lot. We don't really know. It kind of loses all meaning, but I do think that she is an example that, you know, there are so many diversity of opinions. The diversity of opinions in the Democratic Party is large. And I think it's commendable that Democrats, we have so many different types of people in this party. Republicans have one type of person, they're mainly white, and they have to love Trump. And here in the Democratic Party, we support diversity of opinion.
Have attacked me by saying that I should go back to bartending. But let me tell you, I'm happy to, any any day of the week because there is nothing wrong with working for a living. Imagine having leaders in the White House who understand that. Leaders like Kamala and Tim. But Chicago, just because the choice is clear to us does not mean that the path will be easy. Over the next 78 days, we will have to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th. But we cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and in the Senate so that we can deliver on an ambitious agenda for the people. Because if you are a working parent trying to afford rent and childcare, Kamala is for you. If you are a senior who had to go back to work because your retirement didn't stretch far enough, Kamala is for you. If you're an immigrant family just starting your American story, Kamala is for you. America.
Wow, this is really good.
When we knock on our neighbor's door, organize our communities, and elect Kamala Harris to the presidency on November 5th, we will send a loud message that the people of this nation will not go back. We choose.
Y'all, you do not have to. Thank you, but thank you. That is a lot of money. Can we get a shout out to Hudson and Kathleen? Kathleen, Hudson, wow. Thank you so much. I'm going to like that. Let me like yours, Hudson. Thank you so much. That is like totally not necessary. I'm just here to hang out, talk a little bit about my experience, see, watch these speeches I missed, even though I was there. So thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, y'all, thank you. Oh my God, you don't have to do that. Ah, thank you. Okay, I did pay my way there. It was like $4,000 if I'm being honest, all said and done. Totally worth it, but it was a lot of money. I also don't have kids, so I'm a childless cat dad, childless dog dad, so I can afford it, but it was not cheap. So I thought that speech was great. This is why, thank you, White, so much. I'm gonna like yours as well. This is, I just think like having someone that can speak to the experience of working people is so important. I just think that's like also the great thing about Democrats in general is we can. I don't know about you, but I am from a working class family. My dad worked at a car manufacturing plant in Detroit. My mom was a bill collector. I don't think we were working poor, but I do think we were middle class. I do remember like there were times where my dad would like have to figure out how to stretch $20 for gas and food and everything else. So my mom was a little bit more financially stable, but my father never was able to just kind of have enough money. So anyway, that's one of the reasons why I'm a Democrat. It's because I think it's the only party that actually understands what it means to not be able to have anxiety about just being able to get by. Republicans pretend like they understand what working people need and what it's like to be a working person in this country, but it's clearly not it's clear. I mean, it's run by a billionaire who's never had to work a day in his life, never had to worry about a thing in his life. So having people like AOC, who was a bartender before getting into Congress, is so important. It's so important. Peace Baby says, we were very close to working poor because us kids were able to chip in. We made it through. I do think we need more. Thank you, Wolfka. Thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. So I do think we do need more. We just need more working. Yes, we need more working people representing us. I'm sick of lawyers being in office. I'm sick of it. I don't care what lawyers think. If you're a lawyer, that's great. Congress should be, and especially the House, should be people who know what it's like to be an average, everyday American. And it's not really what it is right now, unfortunately. So let's go. I think I figured out why this looked like that, and that's because I'm going to switch this and see if it, yeah. So that's better. Oh no, it still doesn't work. Okay. I'm just going to do this then. We'll just have it where it was. Okay. All right, let's watch Jasmine Crockett. Okay. Also, I think honestly, 7 minutes to 10 minutes, perfect amount of time for these speeches. Anything else a little too long, maybe anything else a little too short. I will say, I'm going to tell all of you this on my live stream, all 106 of you. Here is my goal, my personal goal. I'm not usually one to set goals, but when I do set goals, I try to make them. I don't know how I'm going to make this one happen, but here's a goal I want. Here's a goal I have for myself, is in 4 years' time, I would like to be on the stage in the DNC. Now, how do I make that happen? I don't know. I don't know. But I would like to do that. I would like to get to a place where, I've done enough good work that I'm recognized by my party. I would like that. I'm not ashamed to say it. Let's watch Jasmine. Well, you set goal. I think setting goals is important.
Well, good evening, America. On November 5th, our nation will hire a president, a commander-in-chief, and leader of the free world. So let's compare their resumes, shall we? One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU. HU. The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business. Housing discrimination, that is. She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal.
Real fast. AZP says, thank you for the $20. That's your first super. I don't know why they call them supers, but thank you. You're getting the message out there. I am banking on more people voting blue because of your content, which includes actual videos and not just opinions, unlike many Republican commentators. Thank you so much. That means so much. Thank you.
With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it. Her entire career as an elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator, she's always worked for one client, the people. Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old, lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs. Listen, y'all. He's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem. While Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights to be restored. She is also the leader we need on the global stage. She helped secure the release of Americans wrongfully detained in Russia. At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin, and MAGA holds legislation hostage here at home, critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the Farm Bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare. America, looking at the two choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
This is making me wish I was there again. Oh man, it was so fun being around so much energy. It was so fun being around. This is making me wish I was there. I don't go to concerts. So I imagine this is why people go to concerts, because you feel this like connected energy with each other. You feel like there's a camaraderie, and I do think that when you're with people, it has a way of elevating the experience of something. I don't know, I'm not explaining this very well, but there's something about, and I just don't go to concerts, and I imagine this is why people go, because it was just like very electric.
Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap sheet. She presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair. Y'all know what I said that other time. In Mar-a-Lago. While Donald Trump wants to put our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th, Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America. In the real world, this wouldn't even be close. But this election is. Don't make a mistake. We are the underdogs in this fight, even though there is only one person qualified, only one person who's done the work, and who has delivered the results. And she needs you. She needs your one vote this November. Can we count on you? Some of you know a little bit of my history, some of you don't, so let me tell you. I was a public defender. I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor. Yeah. She was the first.
Is she a lawyer? Is Jasmine Crockett a lawyer?
First attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism.
All right, well, that's one strike against her. We need less lawyers. We need less lawyers in the House, in my opinion. I want someone who, but it's so, that's the thing, is like catch-22. How do you get someone into the House who's like a grocery store cashier? How do you get that person to win a House election? It is so hard to do anything to like run for it is like the money it takes to run for Congress. And then also you can't make money because you're running for Congress. It's like, it's incredibly hard for working people to get in there.
Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say. I did not copy out for her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked into that courtroom and said, Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that. Many of you know her credentials.
No, I mean, I was just being a little sarcastic. We love Jasmine Crockett. It's just, I do think there should be less lawyers in the House. Obviously, we'll take good lawyers. But I also want cashiers. I want doctors. I want engineers. I want people who know tech. I want people that know what it's like to not be able to pay for gas. But I think mainly in the House and in the Senate, we just have lawyers and businessmen.
But what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume. Is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to Congress, I wasn't sure I made the right decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged. I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met, but she saw right through me. She saw the distress. I immediately began crying. And the most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened.
Wow.
It's so hard for me to tell this story. She then said, among other things, "You are exactly where God wants you. Your district chose you because they believe in you, and so do I."
Wow. It is so, that is a thing, I know she's really funny and stuff, but it is incredibly hard to be authentic like that, especially on the national stage. Imagine how in touch with your emotions you have to be in order to feel how you were feeling in that moment when Kamala helped you and be able to express that feeling in real time in front of millions of people.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay. The next month, I went viral for the first of many times to come for hitting Republicans with a dose of their own medicine. That brief but impactful interaction gave me my legislative legs, and I've been running ever since. The question before us is, will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision for a better America or not? I hear alliterations are back in style. We deserve better. We deserve a president who can be a bright light in a sea of darkness. One who will pull us forward, because we won't go back. Amanda Gorman said it best. There's always light if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
Wow. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. I don't know if you saw this. I put this on TikTok. But do you want to see how far away where they're talking, it looks like they're talking to the camera. They're actually reading a big teleprompter. Here is what that looks like. And here's how far away it is.
Fellow Republicans, if you still pledge allegiance to those principles, I suspect you belong here too. Because
Look at that.
democracy knows no party. It's a living, breathing ideal that defines.
That is far. Yes, there are still two glass teleprompters here, but the main one is that far away. Interestingly, Kamala Harris's teleprompter, see how that's white text on a black background? Hers was switched. It was a white background with black text. She was the only one with a white background and black text. I guess that's just what she likes. But I thought that was interesting. Oh, I also made these things. Watch this. Are you ready? Are you guys ready for this? I've been beefing up my I know I wouldn't be able to either, Kaylee. I've been beefing up my streaming. Look, watch this. Watch. You ready? Oh, it didn't work because it's just me. Hold on. For some reason, okay, let's just do this again.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Oh, I want to make a million more of these, but it's very fun. Fun for me. Fun for me. All right. Keith Edwards, did you get to meet Kamala? Did you get to meet up with Brian Taylor? Okay, so I did not meet Kamala. I didn't meet her. I did meet Brian. It was we follow each other everywhere. And I got to meet him in person. He sent me his book. He sent me his book last week and I got to meet. I'll tell you about meeting him. Do you mind if I go get his book? I'll be right back. I'm going to take it's going to take 10 seconds. I think I can see it from here. I'll be right back. I want to read what he wrote me. It's very sweet. All right, I got it. Okay. 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 Here's his book. He sent it to me. Brian Teller Cohen wrote in here. Okay, it's very sweet. Keith, keep up the amazing work. I'm glad more and more people are finally get to see how good you are. Isn't that nice? Oh, so nice. Michelle says, I couldn't put Brian's book down. Read it back front to back in one second. I haven't read it yet, but I should. Yeah, it's so nice. I will say this about Brian. So just before I got into the Pete Buttigieg interview, he was sitting, there's like this hallway. So the way it works is that like it's basically the suites that surround the where the stage is on that outer perimeter. There's this hallway where you can walk, and so I was waiting outside of the studio space, and in this hallway is like CNN, MSNBC, whatever, and then there's a studio space for content creators, and so Brian was there. He was just holed up there. And so I got to meet him. I talked to him, and I was like, oh, and I just asked him a million questions, because one of the great things about doing this was that I got to meet a lot of YouTubers. I don't really know anyone that does YouTube. So I got to meet a bunch of YouTubers, and he's like the most prolific. And so I asked him a million questions about YouTube, and he was just so giving with his answers and like listening. And, I was like, I feel like whenever a YouTube, like a video bombs, I feel like my career's over. He was like, each one hurts when that doesn't work, meaning like it doesn't feel good when a video doesn't do well. And so it was just nice to be able to talk about that sort of stuff. And so when the Pete interview was over, he was like, how'd it go? I was like, I feel like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like it wasn't long enough. I was like worried it wasn't long enough. And he goes to me, he goes, Keith, he was like, no, he was like, you did it perfectly, because you knew there was a moment. He's like, it was such good advice, because I'm just getting used to interviewing. He said, Keith, you never want to make it feel like you are just dragging out an interview just so you can get more content. He said, if there's a natural stopping point, you stop. He said, your audience will appreciate it. He said, because they will feel, and the interviewee will feel, that you are just trying to make something keep going even when there's nothing else there. So your audience gets bored, and the people you're interviewing get upset because, they have things to do. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. He's like, so like 6 to 10 minute interview with like principals like that, like people like Pete. He's like, that's perfect. He was like, it's like, it's such a, I don't know. So I don't know, like the fact that like he like sat with me and just told me like, just tell me like all this insight and stuff. So nice. So nice. So yeah, I mean, I did get to meet him. Long story short, yes, I met Brian Tyler Cohen. It was very awesome. Yeah, and be interested and engaged in the talk. Use it very well. Yes, I try to do that. All right, someone said, Steve, I watched a video of you. Yes, for some reason, YouTube is recommending this old video of me from like 13 years ago to people. I'm so sorry. Izanti, love your coverage, but we want to know, did you ever find the guy checking you out at the DNC? I love your channel. Found it a few weeks ago. I never found him. Let that be a lesson that I should have just stopped him in real time, because I never found him again. I was like, what's the point of all these followers if I can't just like quickly like post, hey, if you're checking out at the DNC, come back. Kathleen, I saw your 60 Minutes interview from 3 years ago. Oh my gosh, that interview. Yes, it's crazy that I was on 60 Minutes. Brian Tyler Cohen really started the content creators. He describes in the book how he saw the August meeting and knew there needed to be another way. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here, because I just do feel like this is where it's all heading. So I do think it's all very new still. So I'm starting now with this amount of subscribers or this amount of impact. Imagine where we will all be in 100 years, in like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, Kathleen, it was good. I didn't know you were on the Lincoln part. Yeah, I was their communications director. I was the only person who tweeted for the Lincoln Project that entire cycle. And then I went straight to the John Ossoff campaign, where I oversaw all content for that campaign, and created the TikTok and all that sort of stuff. With Steve Schmidt and Rick Wilson as bosses, why would you ever be intimidated? That's a good point. Steve Schmidt is the funniest person you'll ever meet. He is so funny. He is so funny. Rick too. I mean, I got to see Rick at the DNC, which is nice. I hadn't seen him in 4 years. I love John Ossoff too. I'm a little nervous about Georgia. So I don't know if you all know this, but Brian Kemp is going to run for the Senate in 2026, which is when Ossoff's seat is up. And Brian Kemp is very well liked in Georgia. Kaylee, I love the Pete Buttigieg interview. It felt like conversation between friends. Thank you. What I try to do is I go in. So this is only my second interview for my channel, right? I mean, there's been 3 now. So I'm trying to, I'm learning as I'm literally like, it's not like I'm learning with like 1,000 subscribers. Like I feel like I have a lot of people on here watching, and I also, I'm interviewing people who are important. And so I'm just trying to I'm trying to make as little mistakes as possible, but still give myself the opportunity to learn and grow, which is not easy. But what I'm trying to do is I go in there with a certain set of like where I want the interview to go, the things I want to hit. But then I kind of listen, and I just try to go where, if like something they say I think is interesting, I try to go to where they go to, listen, follow up, and then go back to my set of questions. But I don't know why I'm able to do this, but I am able to like have my questions memorized. And so I think that's helpful. I don't have like a piece of paper in front of me. Thank you, Wolfka. Jim Adams. Ossoff is going to have a top slot. Yes. I agree. Tanya. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. How do I like this? Thank you. Can I do up here? No. Wow. Thank you. I did see Mike Lindell. I did pass by him. Yes, Patel, Jayesh. I was there. I was in the arena clapping for those 2 minutes. So I was there when it happened. I started getting emotional when it was happening. That's the thing that's beautiful about these things. Like so many unscripted moments happen. Yes, I was the social media voice for the Lincoln Project. So when I first started, they were tweeting like once, like they were not tweeting enough. There would be some days where they just didn't tweet at all. And then I totally changed the way that they engage with the internet, and I made it much more pithy and sharper, and added a lot of internet culture to what they were doing. So, and so then that really took off after. I mean, it wasn't all me. It's kind of like lightning in a bottle, but I definitely helped. Keith, could you interview? Yeah, I could for sure. I saw Michael. I actually met him outside of a thing. So I finally got to meet him. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone. All right. So how did you like this Sunday stream? The 4:30 stream. I kind of messed it up because I had a pre-stream and then I loaded it into my software, and then I tried going live and it didn't work, and then like it canceled the stream. So I don't know. So I messed that up. I feel like there would have been more folks if I didn't cancel the stream. But we could do this again, you know? We could do it again. I think it is good to have like a set schedule for a stream. You know? Great. Yeah. All right. Was that time okay? Is 4:30 a good time? Wolfka said, really liked it. Gives it a better chance to know you and what's going on. Thank you. I know, 100 people for 90 minutes. Pretty nuts. Yes, that was the point of that, Azanti. It was almost 10 p.m. here. Excellent. Okay. All right. So here's what we'll do. Let's do it again next week for 4:30. Okay? And I'll schedule it and I won't mess it up when I go live. So let's do 4:30 next Sunday. When is the debate? Presidential debate. Like what? Like how far is that? It's September 10th. How far away is September 10th? 16 days. Oh my God, it's in 16 days. That is so scary. I mean, she's going to do a good job. Yeah, it's almost 2 weeks. She's going to do a good job. But anxiety inducing a lot. This is how I don't, this is why I could never work in politics. I mean, I work in politics. Never could be a politician because so much of it is is all riding on like these do or die moments. Like imagine you have to give your DNC speech and you're the candidate for president of the United States. I guess maybe you've had a lot of experience at that point and you're also like, because you could be the next president, you're filled with a confidence that helps you get through that moment. But I could not do it. Like, would you be able to sleep? Would you be able to sleep the day before? I wouldn't be able to sleep the day before. Knowing that, like, oh, if I mess this up, it could ruin everything. Like, that's where my head goes. So I am not made to be a politician. I don't think. And I think the debate is a little easier. I think the debate would be easier. Yeah, I mean that is the thing, Scott. Is she does have tons. She has tons of. She has tons of experience to fall back on. Yeah, that's true. I mean, okay, I will say this, that like, I don't know if you all like Hillary Clinton. I thought she would have been a great president. I don't think she confronted Trump the way that I would have liked in the 2016 debate. I think he just needs to get verbally slapped, you know? And I also don't think Biden verbally slapped him in 2020, you know? And I do think Kamala Harris is going to verbally slap him in 16 days. Yes. Pete was on. If you saw my interview, Pete was Mike Pence. Played Mike Pence in 2020. Kamala hold her ground. Yeah, prosecuted politicians love debates. And yes, absolutely. Also, I think Trump's just going to seem deranged. He's going to seem deranged. Trump has not been able to stop being deranged. Here's I was almost going to do a video on this, but it doesn't feel like that big a thing. Did I save it? Did I save it? I did. Trump posted this. He accused Kamala Harris of being a man. I think this is real. I choose to believe he posted this. Let's see. Did Trump accuse Kamala Harris of being a man? Didn't pull it up. I think that's a real post. I think it's a real post. I don't know. I don't want to do a misinformation. You can so easily make this. I wouldn't put it past him. Does anyone know watching if this is real? But yeah, he is spiraling. Michelle says, I feel like times are so different then because until they overturned Roe, no one really believed that was what she was running in 2016 debates would really happen. Yes. I do think that like what you learn in performance is when something's happening, in the moment, you should react to it. I mean, I didn't even follow my own advice because I should have maybe said something like when I was doing the Pete interview. I was like, what the hell is going on over there? But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Should I have? But anyway, Donald Trump, when Donald Trump was being completely weird during her, like stalking her during their debate, she should have said something, I think. It's not real? Oh, okay. I will hide it. Boop. Sorry. It seems like it could be real. Okay, let's see if we have this. Okay. I'm going to end it there. I have to work. Thank you. 100 of you stayed on the whole time. So thank you all for watching and hanging out with me. It's been nice.
You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Never gonna get over that. I love that. Thank you all. So I will see you next Sunday. Bring a friend. Let's get it to 200. Okay? Thanks, everyone. See you next Sunday. I think this is how I end it. I think this is how. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, bye, everyone. Bye-bye.